What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about how to remain alert but not dismissive toward men. That was the question. How to remain alert but not dismissive toward men. I think it's a really good question. A lot of women that I speak to find themselves in a place where they've learned from their mistakes. They know better now, but the equal and opposite extreme has happened. And instead of not paying enough attention, they pay no attention at all. Right? Instead of not guarding and policing who they let into their lives initially, instead, no one gets in, right? The door is just locked, and they don't even stop to investigate anymore. They just assume everybody's the same. You have to have balance. Part of what might help you stay alert but not dismissive toward men and miss opportunities is trusting yourself. The issue a lot of times is after you've made some mistakes in relationships, you don't trust yourself to make the right decisions. You don't trust yourself to judge character properly. You don't trust yourself to invite the right types of people into your life and accept the right types of things and signals. So a part of learning how to deal with men and applying all of the knowledge that I might speak of or other dating coaches or whoever you speak to or get your information from, applying that knowledge within reason and applying that knowledge with wisdom is the difference between staying alert or just dismissing every guy that you encounter. Knowledge doesn't become wisdom until it's applied. Okay, so you can learn a lot from what you've been through. But if you don't give yourself the opportunity to apply that knowledge, right, through your actions and through your decision making, it does not become wisdom, right? Wisdom is as knowledge applied. So it's very, very important that you don't grow into a position of isolation. And that's what a lot of people do. They say, oh, I know better, so I do better, and therefore I do nothing. And that's not the goal here. The goal is to enlighten you so that you can bring that knowledge into use for you so that you can properly choose men and properly discern the opportunities around you. So when you learn from me or another dating coach, it's not about learning everything you can and sitting in a dark room by yourself and living a life of isolation. It's about taking that knowledge and then going and applying it to the way you date against sometimes your own will or against your own nature to maybe be more open with other guys, to maybe accept more or go faster with other guys. It's about slowing yourself down and using the newfound knowledge that you have to pinpoint the correct opportunities. So understand that the things you've learned are meant to help you, not stop you. And once you trust yourself, you shouldn't let old mistakes stop you from creating new opportunities for yourself. So again, to answer your question, how to remain alert but not dismissive. Learn to trust yourself. Learn to trust that you've learned enough from your experiences, from your loved ones, from the dating coaches you watch on YouTube, from your mental health therapists if you're taking mental health therapy. Wherever you've gotten your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you ultimately have to trust yourself to apply it. If you can't apply it, then you have wasted your time acquiring it. There's a great fear that you might not be as strong as you like to think you are after having learned so much, right? We all have this doubt that we are who we hope to be at some point. We are who we thought we've become, right? And the test therein is learning to figure out where you're weakest at, and then fortifying your weaknesses, but ultimately growing into a stronger, better, more capable, more discerning, better decision-making individual. Right? And so those who become dismissive are so fearful a lot of times that they would much rather not be making those decisions at all. And therefore, they just as well assume everyone else is the same because it's easier and it feels like power. I speak a lot about that, how certain decisions that come from weakness or come from fear or an anxiety actually feel like power because at least it's a choice. I'm not dating because it's a choice. I don't want to date. That might be true, but it could also be true that you're not dating because you're very fearful, right? You're nervous. You don't know if you've actually gotten as strong as you hoped you have been becoming. So it's really important that once you acquire knowledge and you sit down and you rest, and you allow that knowledge to set in, and you allow your peace to set back in. When you go out and you present that peace, that joy, that happiness, that fulfillment, that contentment to the world, that new, stronger individual, you just apply that knowledge. And if you decide that no one is good enough for this new version of you, again, it might feel like power, but it's really fear and trepidation, right? It's anxiety, and I don't like to let fear or anxiety rule me. I don't like to let fear and anxiety make my decisions for me. Okay, so test your wit, test your knowledge, test your might. In the dating world, once you've acquired new knowledge and you've also ultimately gotten some peace and gotten some rest from, you know, whatever disappointments you might have faced before. Every guy is not out to get you, but those who are out to get you still need your cooperation. Okay, so if you're dismissing guys just because you've been through some things, and you're dismissing all guys, you're not necessarily dismissing those individuals. You're dismissing your opportunities to be taken advantage of because you might not trust what you might do in those situations, right? And ultimately, you know, of course, you know, disappointments hurt, and you know, there's a risk involved in getting to know people, but I think love is worth the risk. If you let a man's actions speak louder than his words, if you hear his words but you listen to his actions and you listen to his consistency, right? Those are languages. Consistent actions will tell you over time what a person thinks about you and what a person is trying to do, right? There are certain things that signify and ultimately show and demonstrate intent, but that has to be done over time. So if you don't trust yourself to take your time with a person, I would understand why you'd be a little bit more dismissive. And then obviously wasted time is something that we all fear. No one wants to waste their time. And so you just have to operate in the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and the discernment to make sure that you're not wasting your time with opportunities that lead to nowhere. But you have to make the right, proper decisions. And sometimes if we don't trust ourselves to do that, we just avoid anything that could look like pain down the road. And I get that. But you learn to trust yourself, learn to use the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you've acquired. Judge a man's actions, not his words. Pay no attention to his words until they're validated by his consistent actions. Understand that you have the control about who enters your life. If you maintain that control and if you manage that control, you don't have anything to fear, or you have very little to fear, because you're the one letting people in and pushing people back out. Sometimes you have to throw people away. Okay, so until you can trust yourself to be loyal to you, loyal to your needs, loyal to your wants, loyal to your romantic goals, I understand why you'd be dismissing everybody, because everybody's a threat if you can't trust yourself. Part of relationship rehabilitation is learning to trust yourself. Sometimes whether or not our experiences have led us to be stronger individuals remains to be seen. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Give yourself a chance. You might surprise yourself. You might actually make some decent enough decisions. Next week, a video is coming up in my Why Sisterhood course that could probably help a person like you. Again, if anybody wants to, they can join the Why Sisterhood. It's a $10 a month dating course. Of course, that price won't always stand. It will be going up here pretty soon once the course is completed. But there will be a video actually about how to navigate this portion of a relationship, or this idea that you want to become stronger, how to apply that, and how to date with a lot more confidence. And so that course is a lot more detailed and a lot more intricate, and it's a lot less searchable topics and popular topics, but these are the meat of relationships and the meat of relationship thinking. So that might be something that you're interested in. That might be something that can help you. Those who do their assignments, those who dig into their workbook assignments, get a lot more from the program than those who just show up to watch videos as if they're watching it for YouTube. The YBSY Sisterhood is about doing the work. It's about committing to yourself, to learn about yourself, building your own future based on the experiences that you've had. So I get into a lot more details about the intricacies of becoming a person who's really evolved, instead of just watched a bunch of videos and acquired a bunch of knowledge that you can't then use in the Wise Sisterhood. So it may be something that you want to dig into or look into. You can go to ybslove.com if you want to join the Wise Sisterhood. But anyway, I hope that helps for now. Just trust yourself. And when you see red flags, when you feel familiar things coming up, when you recognize familiar negative patterns, just get out before you're hurting. And to be disappointed is one thing, but to be destroyed and to be hurt is a whole nother thing. So don't let people get that close until they've earned that position in your life. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Follow me at KidVic24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.